We're back. We are back, but let's let it wait a little bit. Hey, jiving. What up, Jason?
What up, man? How you doing? Episode 3. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I think this is week 4 or week 5, man, of this stay-at-home mandate here in the Bay Area.
There's nothing like it.
Goodness, it feels like it's never ending, you know? But it's all in God's grace.
It is. We got quite the show today, but before we do any of that, what are we doing here? What is this? This is episode 3, so we're still all new to the game. But
the Allen Iverson episode is because there's no other number 3 that I know that deserve an episode.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What's the purpose? Why are we doing this, though? Why are we doing this?
Well, we're doing this because we're trying to entertain all y'all. No, for real, though. We're doing this because we're just trying to stay connected, motivate others to stay connected because you don't want to isolate yourself.
For sure.
Especially during these times. And I know that there's everyone specifically here in season 1 of the No Thugs, All Harmony, Zoomcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it, is mainly from our home church in Sunset Church because we have quite a big, moderate-sized church. But we're here also to reconnect people, give some good vibes, some lighthearted stuff, maybe some serious topics in the future of this season. But today's topic is what, Darren? What are we talking about?
I don't know if we're ready for this. Today's topic is a little bit of NorCal versus SoCal, the classic debate. And in order to do this right, Jason, are you ready to introduce our co-hosts for today, our special co-hosts?
So first of all, disclaimer for this topic. Guaranteed lighthearted banter, as you said, 95% of the time, but the 5%, be ready to be offended, but not completely angry at the same time.
Exactly.
Because we still continue our family in Christ today, right? Like we're still continuing all that.
So what you're saying is we're expecting letters in the mail, but with laughs along the way. Maybe a little kiss, maybe a little lipstick kiss on that.
Specifically to me, I know it's specifically to me because I'm surrounded. I'm outnumbered. So.
For sure. All right, we're ready to bring in our guests. In order to do this right, we got to play a little background music. Let's go. Hey, from the Yay area, we got 2 special guests today. The first one's gonna be from the Richmond district of San Francisco, Kevin Shu. What up? Hey. And Ranger.
What up? Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Next up on the plate, we got from the upper mountains of the Sunset District, we have Mr. Matthew Chung.
From Japan, from Tokyo.
From Tokyo? Hey! What up, guys? How's it going?
Going good.
Oh,
going good.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Long-time listener, first-time caller on this show.
I'm pretty sure you called him the first episode 1. If you guys are listening right now, you're watching the video, check into episode 1. You'll see him actually co-hosting right away before we even knew it.
Right. He did himself and we're like, what?
All right, guys. So we're doing NorCal versus NorCal today. And in order to do that, we have to think about why we pick you guys as guests. So tell it to us short. What gave you guys the credentials of being in this episode? We'll start with Kevin.
So I grew up here in SF, as Darren said, then went to City College for 3 years before transferring to UC Irvine in SoCal on my 6-year trek to get my civil engineering degree, Also married my wife from SoCal. She's from beautiful, sunny Bellflower, California. As nice as it sounds, it's not so nice. But so that's my credentials. That's my credentials from NorCal to SoCal, then moved back up to NorCal, back to the Yay.
So you got a little bit of everything. You got a little bit of everything. All right, Matt. What gives you the right?
San Francisco, born and raised as well, and also just happy the same graduating class as Kevin, UCI. So spent 4 years down in Southern Korea, was living down there, and then ended up back after college for a couple of years, and now just figuring out where the Lord takes and potentially NorCal, SoCal. But I've been opportunities that every year that I go down to SoCal for to continue to lead worship for different youth events or retreats or just staying connected with community.
For sure, for sure. All right. So we got two awesome guests here today. And in order to do this right, I feel like we kind of have to discuss, I mean, maybe so much of asking you guys, what do you guys see? We got 3 NorCalers here for the most part, 1 SoCaler and Jason. We can talk about the NorCal and the SoCal of our childhood, but for you guys, what do you think has changed the most since the early days, since you were in your diapers till now? Ooh, it's a stumper. It's a stumper.
Why is it a stumper?
I would say in terms of San Francisco specifically, as well as just the changing generations of the Bay Area, it's really just been a culture change, and that comes with time. The population of people, the demographics, all of that kind of influences what the culture of a city will look like. For San Francisco back in the early 90s was known to be a little bit more bohemian in the sense of accepting of the arts, creativity. It was a place for people with no community to come and find community. And after tech boom hit and just thinking of lifestyles as well as just the amount of money that has gone through the Bay Area, it has changed with the people with it. Yeah, you'll still see little pockets of that culture, but at the same time, a lot of it has changed, and in some ways for the good and for the bad. And so in that sense, it's lost a little bit of culture, a little bit of the heart of what San Francisco was.
Feel on that one. How about you, Kev? Do you resonate with what Matt said?
Agreed. For sure, one thing is like the cheap Chinese food used to be like $6-7 or like $5-6-7. Can't find that anymore. So that's just gone along hand in hand with what Matt said about like incoming people, and along with that was like increase in housing costs and a bunch of stuff like that, which it's all wrapped up together.
For sure.
You guys are unicorns because you guys are born and raised and still stuck around. Because I noticed that a lot of your fellow natives, they've either moved east of the country or
like east meaning back to China?
No, man.
The country, he said.
Oh, my bad.
Like Fresno or like Stockton.
For sure.
Sacramento, because, dude, how many of your coworkers are, transplants, right?
That's legitimate right there, yeah.
Right?
I would say 95% for sure.
That's crazy. So, like, everyone moved. You guys are the weird ones that still stuck around, to be honest.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, Jay.
Anymore, like, if I go to San Francisco and go to a local business and hang out there, like, I don't find local people there. People who grew up there, they go into the school and whatnot. Everyone is literally like, they look like hipsters. They're on a bike.
That's true.
They're from like Idaho or something, but they're there for the tech boom.
That's true. We got a comment here. Everybody's in that Patagucci tech uniform, which I think we've all seen too much. Kev, Matt, do you guys feel like you guys are unicorns, or is that a weird concept for you? Is this your first time hearing that?
I mean, I could see it, but I think in SF there's more people that stay than other places in the state or country.
Huh.
I feel like SF people, at least our circles, tend to stay where we were raised, from my experience. But definitely outside looking in, I think it could be seen like that, because if you don't know the people, then it's hard to like identify, you know.
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like, yeah.
it makes it easy because you guys you guys grew up in a family found like I guess a family dominated church that you can always turn back to. Like imagine if you went to one of the and with different cultures too, different cultures and different generations. But imagine if you went to a church like Reality.
That's for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Everyone is from the Sunset, and everyone's from Soma Financial District or North Beach, and they're really like from other parts of the country, not really San Francisco. So,
For those listening that don't know our context, our church is located in what I always call the Shire of San Francisco, that Sunset District that's right by the beach. And what that does is that, yeah, we do kind of, like you say, Jay, we are kind of a different breed of church for sure.
well, it doesn't feel like you're in the city.
No,
It's a suburb of the city.
it's a nice little suburb.
You can call it that. You can call it that. You know.
Hey, Jay, so we talked a lot about what we felt like was what's
Area?
changed in our area. But for you, first of all, you are a unicorn itself because you ain't actually originally from the SoCal land. Give us your story.
If you remember on episode, I think I said on episode 1, but you know, I grew up overseas for 9 years, 8-9 years of my life in Southeast Asia. You know, part third world at that time, and then I came and landed in southern LA, near the Long Beach County over there in Carson. So that's where we got influenced with, you know, the Inglewood,
The LBC.
the LBC, you know, over there, and then we somehow moved eastward to Chino Hills from the point. You know, but I got both flavors. I got the flavors of like LA, because LA is huge. You guys know that. And like both of you were in LA, but not really, like from the OC part. So that's different too.
Sure.
Like, you know, the culture in Long Beach is very gang related, you know, a lot because of the minorities there, not only the African Americans and Hispanic, but also like there's a lot of huge population of the Cambodian, Vietnamese refugees. A lot of gangbanging going on over there. So, you know, because of all these racial divides. And then you move eastward, that's where like the barrios were at. So it's a totally different like scenario again. But we went eastward and beyond to like close towards the San Gabriel Valley. That's where the Rice Rockets and the Asian crew were at growing up.
SGB 626.
Right? So these are all like these little niche in LA that I didn't have but I got exposed to. You know, I got exposed to these things, and that's why like it seems like I know so much. It's not like I know so much. I touch all these spots, all these hot spots within LA. That's why like you just get exposure. You know, when you go to school, you see the cholos, you see the Asian gangsters, the watchings, as they call it, you know.
Oh, hey, easy with that sign. We don't know who's watching.
I know, that's right. No, but like, you know, it's all these different things you get exposed to. So it's just always melded within like who I am. But LA before, I would say, so I came to the Bay Area in 2009. And I think that's like around the time where like LA was changing. And I didn't even know that. Like LA at the time was very like mom and pop pockets. There was no like hipsters really. It wasn't like big yet. The people who were transplants were mainly only in the entertainment business, but that's it. You know.
Sure.
But now it looks very similar to SF. All these like hipsters are everywhere, bicycling, you know, in downtown, but they don't know outside of LA. They only know downtown LA. That's it. And you have these like, you know, organics and the vegans everywhere. It's different It looks very much similar like SF, but
Yeah.
they don't understand or they don't know the SGV or OC, like or LBC and stuff. Like there's all these little pockets, or the valleys. That's North LA. That's a whole different like culture all in itself as well too.
That's funny that you say that because before I moved down to SoCal, I just considered all of SoCal as LA.
Yeah, and forget, don't shout out to San Diego. Dude. I was a Triton, UC San Diego, and those SD people are probably like the most chill. Like I love it. Like they have no problems with anyone at all. That's like
They're all about the good vibes.
Low key, because I know Matt is a foodie. San Diego, low key, I think best food in California.
Woo! That's hot. That's hot. Hey, are you guys ready?
Best Mexican food.
I think if you want to eat well, but you don't want to create moth holes in your wallet, San Diego. No lie.
Wait, Jay, best Mexican food or?
No, best food. I'm not even joking. Like, my wife used to hate on SD. I don't know why. I'm just like, dude, why are you hating on SD? Because she's a Trojan, right? So, Trojans always have, like, strong opinions on things. And, like, we're all LA and here and there. I'm like, no. And then we took, like, a weekend or a long weekend trip to SD, converted her. Yeah, dude. San Diego, man. I'm dead serious. If you guys haven't been there or haven't even thought about going there for vacation, for family, go there. I'm not joking. It'll convert you right away. Food, especially, Matt. I'm serious. Not only Mexican. Like, the Mexican food here in SF, joke.
I know that. I agree.
Someone's repping Tacos El Gordo down in the chat box. That's
what's crazy?
Stuff.
I know a lot of the foodies know and love Tacos El Gordo, but like
or El Farolito.
Tacos El Gordo. I'll tell you a story about Tacos El Gordo real quick. Segue, right? Tacos El Gordo. I used to go there when it was before Yelp, so before the masses came. I used to go with Tacos El Gordo because my roommate at the time in AACF, shout out AACF, he does not know how to drive. He didn't drive. He didn't have a car. And so every time he had to go to the dentist, I had to take him. His dentist office is like a block away from Tacos El Gordo. And one time we hit up Tacos El Gordo, and the Chargers offensive linemen were all there. After practice, I was like, this is dope.
They're cleaning up shop, man. They're cleaning up shop.
Lorenzo Neal.
Low Neal.
He's in the Bay now.
95-7 the game.
Exactly. No, he was there. I was like, dude, this is crazy. This was during LaDainian Tomlinson days, man. Like, when
that's before they even. No, they were in San Diego. Never mind. They moved to LA.
Yeah.
When SD was like the San Diego Chargers. They were like the hot stuff. So.
Powder blue.
Yeah, I see on the comment Ryan Chung says like we got good burritos. LA don't got that Mission burrito. I said,
okay. I think it's worth talking about right now. But I think I wrote it down here that I thought it was undisputed. Maybe I don't know about you guys that SoCal has the best food, but there's caveats.
There's
caveats here. So what does NorCal have going for it that SoCal just it's not up to snuff?
The Chinese food.
Specifically that Cantonese.
I want to see meals with Matt. What does he say?
I think when Kev says Chinese food, I think we're specifically talking about Cantonese Chinese because there's a huge migration of immigrants that came from Hong Kong or from China that spoke Cantonese that first populated the Chinatown district in San Francisco, which is probably the largest Chinatown in California if you compare or SoCal versus NorCal there. Mandarin, all of that, I would say SoCal has a more variety there.
SoCal, yeah, okay.
Matt, would you say that's confined to just 66 area?
No, in Irvine, in Orange County, there's a lot of Taiwanese restaurants there.
You know it.
That's true. That's true.
The boba shop.
The only Chinese food that you can get in SoCal was, what was that restaurant?
Sam Woo's.
Sam Woo's. Samu.
I had that. It was trash.
That's in the Irvine.
Yeah.
It wasn't Irvine.
Which is basically the equivalent of having a combo barbecue Chinese barbecue combo restaurant attached to a 99 ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one that's a Cantonese equivalent of Samu called Kim Tar right next to a strip club.
And you've been there, right, Jay?
I've been there.
Talk about that Staples Center story from last week. You got a lot of these NC-17 stories.
Oh, no, for like what is it? So like I agree. So Bay Area, I even told people like if you want to eat Cantonese food, I think Bay Area is the best.
Woo!
How would we rate? So let's take that. So let's say San Francisco or like Bay Area Cantonese food versus SoCal Cantonese food. We'll say NorCal, yeah?
Yeah. NorCal.
How about Vietnamese? Let's take the population of Vietnamese food restaurants and San Jose versus Westminster, Garden Grove.
Dude,
That's a tough one.
okay, that's a good one.
It's close.
That's very close. So obviously, at the end of the day, it's Westminster takes the cake.
He's like, obviously.
But they are very close, though. Like and don't only discount. Don't forget Oakland.
Yeah,
When I
got underrated.
When I first landed to the Bay Area, I landed near International Boulevard, near Little Saigon of Oakland. That's where I started learning my Vietnamese roots. I didn't even know I had Vietnamese blood at the time, and I was like, "How the heck?" And then when I found out that I was like, I have Vietnamese roots in my blood, I was like, that's why I like my mom.
But honestly, like, you can't beat 50% off in Westminster Garden Grove. Like, for $3 for a bowl of pho, no matter even if it's trash food, it's the best food at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, wasn't it like after 11 p.m. or something?
You guys know because you guys had 4 years of the OC. The OC was all about like Vietnamese food.
But they had 4 years in the OC with that college budget, so they had to live off that $3.
You know what? In SoCal, you can get away with that college budget.
Yeah, it's true.
Thing. You
So
know, you can buy $5 pho and be great. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
I think we got a
Reason being
solid.
is because there's so many restaurants in SoCal, and the rent prices are not that high. But in SF, you won't get away with that.
You can't find anywhere in NorCal for KBBQ under $20. But in Southern California, you can get as cheap as $10. Probably around, the average is about 10 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the underlying factor, I feel. Because I feel like due to the cost of the food here in NorCal, it prevents us from finding diamonds in the rough. It prevents us from seeing like what the good is here because of, I'm not paying no $20 for a bowl of pho and a drink.
But it's that $20 bowl of pho and like drink is trash. Like that's why
Man. That's true. Okay, all right.
Right? If I were to eat that and spend that money, if I'm talking about comparing with my experiences with the Westminster like Vietnamese food, it's trash. That's why.
That's.
So say if you're trying to find opportunity to get into the food industry or start, Southern California is a place to be because of your wide reach. People are willing to travel for food. But also, if you compare the cost of living and expenses in San Francisco, there's so many restaurants, and we can speak to this in every single neighborhood, maybe, and a lot of them close within a 2 years window because of either they've run out of funds, they don't have investors, or maybe just, it's way too expensive, or there's not even enough people that are willing to try their food in that regard. And so it's really hard to say San Francisco is a, foodie city when you see so many restaurants are within that $3, $4 register because it's, fine dining in that sense, and they have the funds to sustain themselves.
San Diego. Hey, Matt, I'm telling you, man, if you want to open up shop for a pot, let's go to San Diego. It's really, you should check it out.
feel like after this, we're going to take a caravan. Right now, we're in a shelter in place, but don't worry. We're going to find a way to get in a caravan after this is done to get to San Diego to get some of that.
I owe you guys.
So I feel like it'd be fun if we did like a rundown of just throwing out a cuisine and you guys bring up the underrated spots in each of those, you know, whether it's NorCal, SoCal. I'm going to throw out cuisine. You go like, oh, you got to hit up that. All right. So let's go with, you guys already brought it up, but.
Our listeners and the people that's going to be viewing this afterwards.
For sure.
Here's why, because there was one requester or one person that asked me a question personally, like, oh, can you guys go through foods and what are some recommendations? I was like, that's pretty interesting, but okay, we'll go through that.
Since we already hit up Korean, I heard we were talking about KBBQ. What is that spot?
For me, or let's go with Kev.
I like that.
Obviously Gen, but you know, they moved up to NorCal since then. So that's a pretty good spot. Actually, a good spot in SF, which I found recently, is K Element, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. That one is like, it's not to the level of SoCal, but it gets close enough, you know, for SF.
How much is that one?
They have like a lunch special on weekends for like $20, I think, was it?
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
Oh, I don't know how Matt's face already shows it.
What for your birthday, Kev?
Yeah, that one
We
was
did go
pretty
there.
good. It was pretty good.
Oh, Matt.
I don't have. I mean, there's so many notable ones in Koreatown, but I think for myself, a special place is Shikdo Rack in Irvine, specifically because it was just right around the corner from UI, and so I have a story where it was finals week, and me and my roommates, we went, I think out of 7 days, probably like 5 times during finals
Oh my
week. Because
gosh.
after 9 p.m., they had a college special, which was like around $14, including tax and tip. And so it was the place to go. We'd eat that, you know, late at night, and then we'd go to the gym and work it all off.
Oh, gotta
doesn't
get that
work like
sweat
that,
lodge.
Matt.
Gotta get in that sweat lodge.
Actually, I take it back. I have one spot in SoCal for a Korean barbecue. The best Korean barbecue I've ever had, Baekjang.
In LA.
It's not all you can eat,
In LA.
but it is the best meat.
That one is a good place.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go wrong, to be honest, with K-Town, like in LA.
Any spot.
But you know, I feel like if we go down the list, Darren, like we're gonna start trashing the Bay Area.
Hey, he just brought up K Elements on Clement Street, man. Can't diss that. But you're right.
We're not sponsoring this video.
That's true. But I feel like for you, Kev, do you ever feel like, is it because of the proximity? You kind of miss SoCal that bad?
I mean, before K Element, all we had was Yakiniku.
That's true, and we know we don't want that too much. Yeah, we eat there too much. We might get the wormies. You never know.
A worm.
Why are we trashing that place? This is all right. They just don't
The
got
crazy thing is that like in LA, you can get quality lunch special KBBQ for like $12.
Yes, we know.
I'm not even joking. I was like, $20 is good, but I was like, you know,
I think we got that $9.99 deal somewhere there, right now. There's that.
But it's really good. That's why. So we already know. I mean, but shout out to the Sunnyvale people, man. There's some Korean places in Sunnyvale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are there?
Yeah.
I haven't had any.
It's like even though I'm done in LA and you guys are all Bay Area, but I just feel like this is all you go down. You're talking about places in LA, though. You know, I'm just saying, you go down the list of these foods, we know who got it. But yeah, shout out to the Sunnyvale Koreans. Because I actually just had a Korean fried chicken the other day from Sunnyvale called Vaughn's Chicken. Shout out to Vaughn's Chicken. Right
Yeah. Gotta hit them all up. All right, let's throw out one more. Let's throw out one more cuisine. How about if you guys are going there, no matter where, what would your go-to spots be for just straight up American, whether sandwiches or that little brunch spot, mimosa hour for Jason?
I mean, LA still, dude. I'm telling you, SoCal is the birthplace of all these grubs and the burgers. You want burgers? You go to LA. I know these OC, UCI Zotters, like the anteaters, they've been to the hat.
The little zitters.
Been to the
The
hat.
hat is good for pastrami, but it's different because it's thin cut.
Of course.
But actually, for pastrami, my favorite is AK Subs here in
AK
San Francisco.
subs, AK subs,
I
man.
They
actually
have good
called-
portions,
I
man.
called to try to get lunch yesterday, and they sold out before 12 o'clock.
It is good. There's one in San Carlos that's actually, in my opinion, the best in the Bay Area.
What's that?
Let me do a fact check. But while I'm fact checking, I really think, I don't know. I mean, like, or you guys in LA never been to all those Jewish delis either, huh?
Oh yeah, we don't have that. I don't know if
Couple, but New York has better options.
One in San Carlos.
Oh, let's talk New York. Yes.
The
That's
one
the next
in San
time.
Carlos is called The Refuge. That's a good one.
Ooh.
That's better than AK Subs, because AK Subs is good and all, but like, what, they don't specialize in that.
That's true. I think why we love AK Subs is it's a kind Asian lady that mans the shop by herself, and I think we like that grind. Like the grind, mom and pop.
Are they still open for quarantine?
Yeah,
Oh man, I gotta go swing by there.
All right.
I tried getting it yesterday at 12 o'clock, and they already sold out. So
Oh man.
Really?
No.
I've been there
It's
once.
late.
I've been there once. I thought it was pretty decent, but it's not like, it was expensive still, man. It was like $16, right? for a
No.
Nah, man. Maybe because you don't know her. Maybe you gave her a weird look. Maybe you're donning that LA cap. Maybe that's gonna do it. The
second.
trick.
Maybe.
They charge an extra 4 spot on that.
Maybe.
All right. We got that going on. I think since we're on the topic of food, we can transition on to the entertainment. All right. So in terms of NorCal, SoCal entertainment, who's king? Does Disneyland automatically make SoCal the king?
there's
Yeah.
a reason why Hollywood is in Los Angeles.
It's the king. It's entertainment. I mean, all the topics there you're throwing at us is like, it's one-sided now. It's like as if it's like Kobe Lakers versus even the trashy Danielle Marshall the Warriors.
You gotta get. I love Danielle, man.
There's a fun fact though. Even though all the film industry is in Southern California, San Francisco is the most notable city to film in. That's also the cheapest.
True.
So if you watch all these movies about apocalypses, Godzilla, end of the world kind of thing, San Francisco will
San
always
Francisco.
be getting destroyed. Because it's cheap, it's recognizable. It's very
Apocalypse.
recognizable with the bridge and the bay. And
Yep.
it's also the cheapest city to film in to destroy.
But the sad part now is that everything that's filmed in SF is all CGI, and none of it actually takes place in the actual city.
That's
Oh,
true.
it is. But they still want to shoot the backdrop as like San Francisco.
Yeah, they just filmed Matrix 4.
Oh, that one they actually filmed here. Yeah, that was cool.
They blew up that car in downtown.
Keanu Reeves, man, you gotta do some stuff, some damage. Venom, it's another one.
So basically, you're saying that if you want to get destroyed, you just move up to San Francisco.
Hey, what about sites though? Like
Yeah, man.
tourist attractions.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
You know what?
Like, if I'm thinking SoCal, I'm just thinking what, Griffith Observatory,
Oh man, come on.
Hollywood sign,
LACMA.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's three or four of them.
LACMA.
Then we're done.
LACMA.
Oh, you got those lights.
Actually, you know what? Mulholland Drive. Come on, dude. But anyway, I think though, on the real, I think San Francisco is a lot prettier.
Ooh.
There we go.
I think
One for the hometown.
I think every corner in San Francisco is picturesque.
Oh.
Unfortunately, you have to watch where you're walking now, because you
True.
might have.
I do appreciate about SF is how you can just walk in the city and you just start seeing how the neighborhoods change.
Right.
And you just go like 5-10 minutes and then you just keep walking and you're in a different neighborhood and it's totally changed, totally different people. You can't do that in LA, you know? You
can't.
literally
Anywhere.
drive miles and miles to get from city to city. in
Right. It's
SoCal.
like every block here is picturesque, like you can take a picture somehow, in San Francisco, but the East Bay is different. Shout out to the East Bay people. There, East Bay reminds me a lot. I mean, like East Bay is just basically just like all the suburbs outside of LA.
Yeah.
Except you have to pay $5 to go check them out.
Yeah,
Man,
you gotta take that away. They want, but I guess somebody got to pay for the bridge maintenance.
that's true too. That's true too. It's not gonna pay itself.
Like Disneyland. You guys been to Disneyland, but how many times can you count in your hands?
When I had an annual pass, I went 26 times that year.
Oh, this guy can count. My goodness. Hey, you got a minor degree, right, in Disneyland? Disneyland
Yeah, I
studies?
spent more time there than in my actual classes.
Nice.
That's crazy. Yep, that's a true story. Weren't you the one that studied inside the California Adventure?
I got kicked out.
You got kicked out for studying?
I was trying to watch watercolor, and
Just too bad,
That's
man.
too funny.
Secret story about me. One of the childhood dreams I had was actually being a cast member, not just any cast member, but donning a costume.
Hey,
Did you see
still
that?
make that happen, Darren?
Hey, I know. I can quit my job, quit everything I have.
Everybody.
Yeah, man.
Wait, you worked in Disneyland?
No, it's a childhood dream, man. Now, if you could get me there, I wouldn't mind doing it for a summer. That'd be fun.
Everyone in the suburbs of SoCal, like especially in the SGV and OC, they all worked at Disneyland.
Real?
Every single one of them. Yeah, April worked in Disneyland like 2 summers or something like that. Her sisters, all of them, they all worked at Disneyland.
Speaking of April, she just asked that question to me. Which character would I be? I want to pose it to you guys. Which character can you see me being in a parade, a little World of Color parade, a little downtown Main Street? What would you see me? You want to cover my face, man. You got to see the – oh, man. If I had a pick, I think I thought about this through and through. I mean, you can't beat the mouse. I think I have the
Yes,
the charisma.
fantastic Mickey.
With the mouse, you want to be Mickey?
Because all that Mickey does is that he kind of like twirls around and then he lifts that one heel of his foot and he just does just hopping around on the heel. And if I'm Phantasmic, that's what the one with the fireworks shooting out of his hand. I could do that. That's not hard.
Yeah, that was good.
I just want to light on fire.
The Fantastic, nothing beats Fantastic. I love that stuff, man. What about there was a summer though, like because like I said, a lot of people down there worked in Disneyland. I think I've even mentioned it to you guys before. Like there was one summer where I went to Disneyland every weekend. Like I might be not as much as Matt because Matt had a lifetime, or what is it?
A lifetime pass?
Sorry, annual pass. I didn't have a pass. I don't need a pass because I have family members who worked in Disneyland, so I got it for free. There were moments where we went to Disneyland just to get a churro. I was like,
oh man,
churros.
Jay had the lifetime pass.
And, the Indiana Jones ride. You guys know that ride, right?
That's my favorite ride.
I was one of the first people that rode on that ride because my uncle was
1989?
No, that was 1994, 95.
Got it. Yeah, that's when it came out.
And he was one of the engineers. I think the electric, did the engineering stuff for that ride. I remember because there was one night, like school night, my mom woke me up and my brother, because we were getting ready for bed. Tomorrow is school, or tomorrow's Friday, because it was a Thursday night. He's like, hurry up, get up, we're going to Disneyland. And I'm like, why are we going to Disneyland, dude? But
anything is possible.
Yeah, and then so we went there, and then we didn't realize Disneyland after a certain time, maybe it was 11 p.m. They actually closed off that park for family and close families of the team members of Indiana Jones. I think that's what they do with all the new rides. But anyway, lined up for that Indiana Jones ride. I still remember my uncle had to get out of the Jeep, the ride, because we froze during the snake part.
Oh, that's the worst spot to be in.
Yeah,
I was in there.
Just stuck there, and he ran off. He got out of the Jeep, gone into the.
He ran off.
Well, Was your uncle like, I'm not gonna get caught with this ride. I'm not gonna burn with this shit.
He's like, I'm out of here.
See you 3 minutes later, like it started running again, and then we just went without him. And then we just saw him like right there, and I was like, "That's how ghetto it is." And then afterwards, they gave each and every one of us like free hot dog and drink and chips at the Bengal Barbecue. Shout out to Bengal Barbecue. That's trash rip off, but like we got.
Are you talking about like you did that 1 a.m?
Yeah, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. Like,
Jeez, man, you're eating hot dogs as a grade schooler?
And then go on an Indiana Jones ride.
That's crazy.
Right.
Because I remember that event. I remember seeing something on the Disney Channel. They were promoting like that opening day, and all the movie stars were at the opening day for Indiana Jones. All the 90s movie stars.
In the 90s, yeah. It was such a big deal. And so it was like only families, like the team members. And then like we were the first ones. So that's why like that it didn't work at that moment. Like the Jeep stopped like right when the Cobra was about to like scare you. I was like, that's the worst place to stop as a kid. You're like, huh? Because it's dark, and you have this giant Cobra right next to you.
Would anything in SF even come close to the entertainment value that is Disneyland?
Well, you gotta consider Disneyland, Universal Studios, and they got a bunch
the
of
whole
stuff
conglomerate. Yep, all them theme parks. What if we transplanted a Disneyland and we made a Disneyland SF?
Oh,
would that make sense?
Gilroy Gardens.
No, come on now. That place is trash. But we got a good comment in the Ryan Chung going, Market Street shenanigans is that entertainment that you need. I agree with you there, man. Sometimes if you really want to see real blood,
True.
Yeah. Jeez. Now nothing will come
never
close.
know what you run into on Market Street.
Or
Mission Street.
Because
or
we're
Venice.
talking about entertainment. When I first came to the Bay Area, I was impressed at your Mother Nature. Mother Nature here, my God, it's amazing. Like, that's what made me be okay with living up here because there's actual green. SoCal, there's no green, dude. It's all artificial. Everything's a desert. But over here, like my backyard, not my backyard, but like just a block away is a trail, hiking trail. Like you can't find that in SoCal, You might find a trail with a rattlesnake right there, but over here, I can just go down the peninsula, even to East Bay, and then just enjoy the outdoors. I can actually utilize my four-wheel drive for a good purpose rather than just, looking like as if I am
stuck in that traffic. Man, you're right. All right, how about we bust into this? We've been talking a lot about the generals, what we like and dislike about both NorCal and SoCal, but I think it's important it would be amiss if we didn't discuss how we personally like view the people there and how we personally relate. Like, what do we find attractive about both areas? The people, not the people, not specific characteristics, but
take out this could offend the people.
But what is it about the pace of life, the way that people do things down there, the way that people pursue work or church, their faith, whatever it may be? Like, what is it, whether it's in the Bay or in SoCal, where are you more drawn to and why?
Let's start with Ryan. Oh, sorry, not Ryan. Let's start with Matt.
Let's see. It's really, at least in the community side of things, I think people in Southern California do make more of an effort. And that's because you have to. There's no public transportation. Everybody learns to drive at the age of 16 right when they can, just so that they can meet up with friends, whether that's to go grab some boba after school, or maybe that's to, join youth fellowship, or to just get together with people. You have to. You can't hang out at each other's houses, and so you drive and you meet somewhere that you can in a public area or Disneyland. In San Francisco, we grew up, taking public transportation from the day you start walking. And so for us, it's the convenience factor. It's like, okay, I'm going to go find community. I'm going to go find friends where I can, because that's by your only means, by walking or taking the bus together. For that, that's really limits you to your, your schoolmates, or going back and forth from home to church, and there's not much in between. And I think, yeah, if you take in also just the way that the layouts are of the two cities in Southern California, you can go 100 miles in either direction, and you'll be fine. If you take that and you take that same equation and go for San Francisco, you're paying $10 to go north or east, or you're just gonna go south. And honestly, like if let's ask the three NorCalers here, like how often did we go to South Bay when we were in high school, middle school?
My
Girl,
God.
we never left our city.
My God, how many times have I met Sunset Richmond kids when I ask, like, oh, have you been to Napa? And they're like, where's Napa?
Forget Napa. They've never been to the Mission side of San Francisco.
Yeah, take it one step further. We don't even leave our district, Sunset or Richmond. Outside of that is like a whole nother.
Hey, I can
world.
say this because this is a fellow brother in Christ and also a fellow servant with me. My leader, Theo Lowe. That dude doesn't even go across the street to the Golden Gate Park. Come on, man.
And he legitimately lives across the street from Golden Gate Park.
He goes to the Golden Gate Park every day, Jay, driving across the park to get to church.
Yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta make that rough commute to get to church.
I once met with him for breakfast and his family, like on, I think it was like, not out, it might have been Outside Lands. Maybe Outside Lands. Or like a Bluegrass Festival or something like that.
He canceled on you, didn't he?
And then I was like, no, I was there. And then I asked him, oh, have you been there? It's pretty nice, man, because it's free. Like, there's food and everything.
Bluegrass. Definitely bluegrass.
I've never been there. Like, in my life, I'm like, what?
Well, we don't listen to bluegrass, though.
Bluegrass. Yeah. Bluegrass is free.
They're cool people, man. They're not all degenerates. They just take up a lot of parking.
They have some fire paella over there.
Hey, side note, on this Monday will be kind of interesting because it's 420, but we're in quarantine.
I know.
So I wonder if there's going to be any smoke out in Golden Gate Park.
And they're giving out $1,000 fines, though.
Oh, that'll be.
Yeah, they're giving
that'll deter people.
That's their weed money right there.
So how about Kevin? What's your perspective on life?
I mean, I agree with Matt. Everything he said about
Background that your wife is.
She's from SoCal. Yeah. So I mean, she would attest to this too. Like, definitely hanging out. People would travel places. People would drive easily like 30, 40 miles without batting an eye to like see friends and family and stuff. But yeah, definitely here is like 5 to 10 minutes is like the limit. Anything beyond that is like you got to plan it like a month and a half ahead of time, It's kind of sad to say, but I think that's the reality of it. So I think that's a big thing, definitely, is like, I don't know what it is about NorCal. Like, we're just comfortable in our houses or what, but homebodies. I think, I guess that might be it.
I mean, I'm an extrovert, and born and raised in the city, I still consider myself a homebody. So I don't think it's just me. I think it's something that's across the board. It's pretty characteristic with a lot of NorCalers, regardless of what kind of person you are. If that makes any sense.
That's crazy because when when April first moved up here, we still had that SoCal mentality of exploring everywhere. We drove North Bay, we drove South Bay, mainly North Bay because there's like so much things to do, like in the farms, hiking, and then we started getting to know some of the Sunset people more. This is like around 2012, 2013, and we realized, yeah, man, I've never been to Sonoma. We're like, what? What are you talking about? It's only like 30, 40 minutes from you.
But maybe also because like NorCal is so much colder, people don't like hanging out outside.
Dude, I guess we could segue this soon into the streetwear stuff, but when it's cold, this is what I say. You can layer and be swaggier,
You can layer and be swaggier. You can wear more drip. You can wear more drip. I can see that. But it's hard. I think there's something going on where I don't know if it's the comfort, maybe it's the packed houses, maybe it's the fact that everything you need is in close proximity to each other. I mean, Kevin and I live close to each other. We just got a Safeway that kind of borders us, and we just, we could walk there if we wanted to, and come back and have time for, doing what we need to do here.
Well, it makes quarantine easier for us in the Bay, I guess.
It's true. I think that's a big part of it right there.
Yeah.
With everything spread out, I think it builds that culture. The climate's a big part of it.
The water.
The water being nasty over here in Ocean Beach, although we have been getting good days.
No. I think your tap water is fire.
Tap water definitely better.
We're talking about the water comes out of sink.
No, because ironically enough, I'm all LA, but like my son is allergic to LA water. I'm not joking. Like he gets eczema whenever he gets exposed to water.
Literally,
he got
literally
eczema. Okay.
allergic.
That's real stuff.
He has because there's too much bleach in that water.
You got to kill all the bacteria. Well, actually, let me throw this one more thing. Like the church I went to in SoCal was not really a community church. It was like, it drew from all the different colleges because our pastor was the head of KCM, which is the Korean campus ministry. So it drew from all the UCs. It was in Anaheim, so kind of central of everywhere, It drew from like LA, San Diego, Riverside, Irvine, even some of the state colleges. So it had people coming from everywhere on Sundays, and everyone was traveling like 30 to 50 miles. So it's just ingrained in the culture, like you're going to travel.
True. There was a guy I did it. I went to San Diego for college, but I went up to Walnut for church. It's an hour and 20 minutes away. Oh. I guess for the SoCal people, like, I don't know, when I first came up here, I'm trying to remember, man. When I first came up here, I felt like the drivers were much more rude. And when drivers give that personality to me personally, that tells me the type of like attitude that they have. They don't let me into their lanes.
Yeah, SoCal, it's like assumed.
SoCal, I noticed I just like flip the light switch and they slow down for you.
Yeah.
Over here, I was like, dude, why do I gotta fight like as if it's like, Fast and Furious every time I drive on the 880? Am I right? I mean, like it's weird, but there are still down to earth people like at church. But you guys, I feel like, are definitely more. I don't know. I feel like more kind. I guess less. I don't know. Strongly.
It's because you haven't driven with us on the freeway, Jay. If you were cutting us off, it'd be the exact same.
I know, man.
Because every time I talk about, like, hey, what do you? In the past, at least, like, with all my small groups, when we discuss about what are you going through and what are you struggling, there's at least one or two person in that group talking about, yo, man, I got angry on the road, or I got road rage on the road. I feel like I'm gonna flip off a person on the road. I'm like, what is this?
Why would you ever do that?
It's because there's too many Uber drivers up here.
Yeah, dude.
On the road up here.
I think that was characteristic of NorCal drivers even before Uber, the advent of Uber. I feel like we just can't let it go, man. All this guy, I mean, I don't know about if it's the aspect of grace, but like, do you do this thing when you're changing lanes? You do a little wave.
Yeah, I do that.
No one does that here.
Too much grace on the road, Darren. I know how you drive.
Yeah, I know.
Too much grace.
I've been called a grandma. But I think it is true, man. I think that the pace of life is just different. I mean, but I do get road rage in SoCal too. I get far more road rage.
It's a general overview, right? Like the averages. We're talking about averages. But like I said, like SoCal though, like it's still not. We drive average 80 miles per hour. So if you're slow
like that,
like yourself, then get out of the way, right?
Yep, that's it.
That's the idea. It's we'll let you pass, go into our lane, but you have to drive 80 or higher. You go below 80, go to the slow lane. You know what I mean? No, but you guys are right. I think it's weird because like the distance allows us who grew up in SoCal to be able to tolerate being able to drive from point A to point B without complaining at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like here in the Bay Area, it's like 20 minutes away. It's like, oh man, it's 20 minutes away. I don't want to.
It's true. Although after I moved back up from SoCal, I was like, I have no reason to complain no matter where I'm going anymore.
Right. Right. I find that very interesting. But, you know, to their own, I guess.
That being said, are there, on a broader scale, are there characteristics of a person born in the Bay and or someone born in NorCal, born and raised in NorCal, where you feel like it's just that's like it's characteristic of like 80% of the people there, and you like it about them or you dislike it about them?
Ooh, this could be offensive. This could be offensive, Darren.
Because I like the pace of life thing. I think there is something to it. I think there is that not letting it go thing in NorCal. That's not my impression, but for sure is yours. So, you know, does it speak more into the kind of person that you get a lot here or in SoCal?
I mean, I don't want to give a bad connotation if you're not chill or not, but I feel like people up here are less chill.
That's offensive, Jay.
I'm gonna we're all about the good vibes here. We love the good vibes.
It definitely is less chill up here. Like, it's my way or the highway attitude. There's a lot of that.
But see, here's my like comparison is to SoCal. You can't really generalize SoCal because we're comparing a city to like a whole region, you know? Like,
right.
I spent all my time in the OC, you know? I like that pace. But every time I go to LA, I'd be like, ooh, this is not my pace I like. You know?
Right. No, you're right. LA is a complex area because if you go to OC or San Diego, they're very similar. They're very chill. Like just sunny beaches.
Yeah.
You know, Vietnamese food everywhere.
You can't go wrong with that.
You know, nothing wrong with that. But like you go to LA, you're right. You I'm not talking about downtown LA, like even like the borders, like South LA, East LA, a little bit rough on the edges. I gotta agree. I gotta admit, low riders, you know, it's prevalent, it's everywhere, but it's all about the show over there, right? Over here, I feel like it's less about the show. It's more about the substance behind the person. But unfortunately, you know, it's all or nothing. I notice over here. You know, that's where all the fights between like all these LA and Bay Area sports starts usually here. No? Or am I wrong? I mean, I feel like it all starts here all the time.
And
bashing on Kershaw.
I know, man. Hey, LA Dodger Stadium's where all that stuff happened to that Giants fan back in the day. That B-Shaw.
Okay, so sport. Okay, when sports venues are different because people are drunk. So
that's
like
true,
when
that's
you're
true.
Drunk,
different.
Like they're disoriented. So I'm talking about like if I go. I remember. You know what I did? The first time I got exposed to Sunset Church, I was part of the Oasis small group. I wore an LA Dodgers jacket, which was dumb of me because I didn't realize I felt shunned.
No, like you honestly did? Or
honestly did. The first time I went to Oasis small group just to visit, because at the time, you know, like we were still going to church in East Bay in that San Lorenzo Japanese church. When we first there to see how the small group was like, I wore a Dodgers jacket and I got shunned. And I was like, oh man, this is all or nothing over here. Versus, I remember seeing people wearing Giants hats in our church. Whatever, you know, like it's at the end of the day, whatever for us.
You know,
we didn't want to like qualm. We're just like whatever. But if we're talking about sports, then we'll have fun. We're not trying to fight like, you know, fisticuffs.
When you say, I mean, this could be related to dress, but when you say the things you wear in SoCal, there's more of a culture of expression there. You get to wear you have more license. Maybe it's a climate that allows you to wear really whatever you want to do, whatever you want to wear, but you can show out a little bit more in SoCal. I think that's a undisputed fact, right? In SoCal, generally, people like to show out a little bit more.
I mean, I can say this for the sisters in that, like, I think the ladies in SoCal, it's a lot harder over there. It's a lot harder because, like, they have to show out or get out, every single time they get out of the house. I'm not even joking. Like, it's a lot more, and April can tell you the same thing. It's a lot more, I don't want to use the word superficial, but, like, looks are a lot emphasized than up here. Ooh. Over here, you'll see more homely people.
Ooh.
Per square miles or per square inches at churches, versus in SoCal, everyone's bringing their best for the most part.
Kev, you also have a spouse, a wonderful spouse from SoCal. Is that true? Is that true from your vantage point?
Did she get homier when she got up here? That's the easiest way.
Is homier equate to that North Face lifestyle?
Maybe a little bit.
Hey, see, that's it. That's all you need. It's just that little one grayscale. Like, you notice when you went to your church in OC, she was probably putting her best for the most part, everything.
Maybe she didn't fit the same mold as everyone else.
No, but still a grade, right?
Maybe a little.
Yay!
Jason's trying to milk whatever he can get. Milk whatever you can get.
Telling the truth, man. I'm just telling the truth. This is what it is. That's the culture.
I think it goes both ways. I think it goes with the males too, and I think Matt is the perfect guy to speak into this. Because Matt, I think since he's a fashionista, and I think when you moved back to NorCal, I think I've heard this from your mouth too, which is you're trying to fight for your right to express yourself here in NorCal, because down in the South, you felt like you could do whatever, you could dress however you want to. You can wear the bait over the Gerbeau jeans. Just kidding.
I think there's just a little bit more individuality, which is strange because growing up in San Francisco, and I went to an art school from high school, like
you did.
It's all about expressing yourself and finding your own identity and individuality. But I think what has become the norm here is because the main demographic changed, that everybody out here is wearing Uniqlo, North Face, matching outfits. Everybody looks like cookie cutter outfits with Patagonia and a dress shirt button up down in downtown area. It's just there's no more and that's it's just it's become more of a uniform. What do you look like if you're going to be working here? Or do you drive a Tesla, a hybrid? There's a little bit less adventure into like I'm going to dress or just find an identity of who I want to be. And for myself, when I was there's just a little bit more freedom of expression there in that regard.
That's true.
You're not gonna,
true.
If you drive a 4-wheel drive truck up here, you're gonna get dirty looks from people. If you just drive that anywhere else, it's a car's a car. Why is it? Why does what you wear or what you drive have to do with a person's personality? And I think people have a hard time separating the two because they take one and one together because that's what they perceive as.
That's pretty good, man. That's a philosopher.
And that's why he's got to write a book. You got to write a book about to store this content.
I saw that firsthand when I went to Thailand with Matt. He looked like he was freer. He got to express in Thailand a little bit, wearing fake Supremes and wearing kimonos and stuff. I was like, dang. It's not only black North Face all the time.
Yeah, you got to find that. He was seeking it out too. He was going to every stall finding that knockoff Supreme. And not that whack knockoff stuff. The good 90% Supreme quality.
Yeah.
That's true. Man, I don't know if I'm hurt by that, but I think it's fine. I'm fine with wearing
As Derek goes and puts away his North Face.
Exactly. My North Face with my Uniqlo dress shirt, with my Levi's pant, all of it, with my
Let's
Converse.
just say there's certain people at church, even at church, that will wear the same Uniqlo outfit as the guy next to them.
It's the SF uniform, man.
No, but I still love North Face, but only the colorful one. I feel like North Face is still good, man. North Face is from the Bay Area.
Yeah, see, part of it, like wearing it in SoCal was like, hey, I'm wearing North Face to like represent where you're from, you know?
Yeah.
There's kind of that aspect to it.
In Southern California, if you didn't wear Sperry's or you didn't wear Rainbow from.
Wait, you cut out, Matt.
I think Matt got over it. That was an explosion of thought right there.
He's gone.
We lost him. He got a heart attack off that. Don't worry, we'll bring him back. Oh,
he's back. He's back.
They're back.
Matt, you cut off.
Sorry about that.
About the Sperry's.
I said it's the same way. Southern California, if you didn't wear rainbows or you didn't wear Sperry's, you weren't from there either.
That's true. You know, and there was a moment of like rainbows and Hollister that was hot, you know, like down there, and there was a uniform, definitely was. Now, like I think for all the hipsters, if you wear Patagonia, that's what I noticed. Patagonia is from LA, North Face is from the Bay Area, but I feel like they flip flop. I see a bunch of hipsters now wearing Patagonias up here, and North Face down there. Weird.
You can afford it up here.
I wouldn't even say hipster, man.
No, I thought North Face was more expensive than Patagonia, though.
No. There's a mountain wear.
This is his second chapter of the book.
Here you go.
Just dissing on outdoor wear. Yeah, we got outdoor hardware.
Oh, we lost them again.
It's the fashion stuff that's making him lose his mind right now.
When he gets too passionate, the camera can't contain it.
Can't contain the fire.
Man, I mean, I think okay. So maybe this could be our final segment, but if you went into the locker or the closet of a typical NorCaler, what are you gonna find in there?
Go. Somebody.
What are you gonna find in there?
Typical closet?
Yeah. What would you find?
A Curry jersey.
I find in my own.
Curry jersey. Yeah, for me, it's a lot of sports stuff, you know?
No, yeah, it's okay. Curry jersey.
Giants hat. SF Giants hat.
For sure.
T-shirts. I guess a lot of Uniqlo stuff. Since what we've been talking about. For me, it's like Old Navy jeans.
And Mountain Gear vests and black North Face.
Nikes from the San Leandro clearance outlet.
Yeah.
That's it. And how about you, Jay? What do you feel like is in a NorCal fit? Extra things.
NorCal, you gotta have the outerwear regardless, you know. But here's the thing too, though. Like I was, because April spent about 2 years in New York, I got influenced by New York City. So I have my coats. I do have my coats. I have my trenches and the pea coats there. And I still have my Timberlands, the 6-inch wheat Tims without the butt nakeds. You know, they call it butt nakeds when the back is the same color as all the other parts of the boot, but I don't have the butt nakeds. And then I have variety though, but it's very SoCal oriented to have plaid.
Yep.
That's it. Plaid, when you have plaid, like plaid and tank tops. Plaid, tank tops, and some jorts, or, you know.
Is there any remnant of that old Abercrombie and Fitch Hollister stuff in your closet still?
In my parents' house.
Oh man, I want to see you in those fits.
I got a funny story for that too, because, you know, like in high school we used to go out. You know, I went to school near Brea Mall over there, and like we went to Hollister after school on Friday to get our fit. And then I still remember, like, I have this this buddy and the shopping buddy and friend of mine. I didn't even realize all these times that he was actually jacking, the rings and all the bracelets and stuff that he gave to me. I thought that he actually bought me all those things every time we went. But like every time he gave it to me at the end of the year, it's like, no man, I jacked all that.
Hey, you got a good hookup, man. That's a good friend.
I was wearing stolen product things, dude. And the thing with Hollister and SoCal is that they make the cut of the shirt to make sure that you show a little bit of that taco meat, a little bit if you have taco meat.
Oh, the V-neck.
Yeah, the V-neck.
The little overflow right there.
You overflow in your nipples,
That's good stuff. That is good stuff. And whenever you want, you can just go back to your parents' place, get a couple of those shirts, and see if you still can slip in.
No, but it's a lot of jorts, a lot of plaid, a lot of tank tops. That's and Vans, all day Vans.
All day Vans. I feel like there was a time in NorCal where everybody was rocking the Vans too. I think that was more of a nationwide phenomenon. Yeah, we got the
California phenomenon.
Yeah, they got the checkered print. The little lace thing. Everybody had the canvas one with the little laces.
Yeah.
And everybody had that. All right. Well, what else do we want to hit up on, Jace?
I mean, I think I'm really deep in streetwear, or not deep, but I used to be. Especially in the 2000s, and Matt may know this. But I actually like Bay Area streetwear. Low key.
Is that low key? Yep.
Yeah, because I know SoCal is always about like the skate culture and the street culture. We're huge on that, right? We have a whole street. But NorCal has this thing that is mixed with the hippie / bohemian culture. And I felt like that's pretty cool. That's like, that I think gets underappreciated because like that, the street culture part of SF is similar to the LA one, except mix a little bit of that like hippie bohemian. So I thought that was pretty cool. When I came up here, I went to when I first moved to SF, I went to Haight Street. And that's where like all the streetwear, the real like streetwear stuff is at. And then I went to like a lot of great thrift stores there. It smells a little bit, but it's good. I found a lot of treasures over there. So,
unfortunately, I think that the hate, if you're going to bring up the hate, I feel like that recently has been one of the casualties of SF. There are a lot of good stores that no longer have the same. Yeah, they no longer. Maybe it's the real estate, but they just don't have the same capacity to be there anymore. Honestly, remember back in the day, Matt, with Kev with the True SF. Everybody was in the True, but that's long gone. Long gone. We still got a few. True, yeah. I think it's like either that or they got rid of one of their stores. They don't sell the clothing. They might still have like a shoe store, but
I was really deep in the Huff, and then
Huff is gone. Huff is gone. Yeah, that's
Hundreds is gone.
Hundreds is gone. We still got Upper Playground, but I think that's a SoCal. That's a SoCal based.
Gold is gone.
Benny Gold is gone. Yep. All the just couldn't handle it.
Oh my goodness, what's happening here? It's all hipsters.
Yeah, it's the hate got hit hard. The Post. We just mentioned the Hundreds and all that, but yeah, gone.
Wow. So what are we supposed to dress like?
Well, you got that new Supreme store.
Oh man.
That's all. Man, we don't have enough funds for that stuff.
No, not only that, it's too hype beastie, man. Oh man, that's sad because I knew I was having Huff went out, but I didn't know all the other ones. I was like, what?
A lot of the heavy hitters. There may be a couple more. There may be a couple left, but yeah, all the ones that did their own branding and stuff like that, that's largely gone from here. Real estate, man. But hey, they may have relocated. Matt mentioned who went down? Was this Stussy went down SoCal or?
Everyone's going down SoCal. That's what you're saying.
Got to preserve yourself there. I know. We should have a vigil. We should have a vigil for all the NorCal brands that we lost along the way.
We should have a vigil for the McDonald's that was on hate.
Oh man, you're right. You're
I
right.
don't know. That might be good riddance. It's gone though.
That was a gathering spot for a certain crowd.
Exactly.
It was. That's
Similar
like,
to the Safeway at Ocean Beach over here.
all right.
We didn't get a lot of questions today, it looks like.
Man. But is there, yeah, you're right. Anybody that,
We were for the most part, pretty clear. There's no questions on the board. So, like, for those who are obviously listening after we are done with this recording, if you have questions, just throw us a text or comment on Facebook or Instagram.
agreed. And how about this? Since you guys were awesome guests today, is there anything you guys want to sign out with? Any last message on this topic that you felt like you just have to get out?
Get Matt married. Yeah. You gotta find Matt some honey. All right. That's the goal. Everyone who's listening.
I'm in on that.
Are you in on that, Kevin?
I'm in. I'm 100 in.
Honey.
Probably has to be from SoCal though.
1 hour is up. I gotta go, guys.
Thanks for being
Have you, Kev? Anything else?
That's all for me. You know,
Man.
call it as I see it.
All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure. We'll be back next week with another heavy topic. Jason, what's going on next week?
Next week, we're talking about dating and marriage.
Whoa.
So we might bring back Matt for this next week's topic as well. Might as well.
You might bring all the single guys just like, hey, just come, just for the heck of
Oh
it.
man, we may have a gathering. That'd be fun.
This is the last episode of the first season.
Yep, it's going to be part 4, the last part of season 1. I get it.
And some ladies might actually appear in next week's guest because we need to get perspective from the marriage side.
That's gonna be great. I can't wait. All right.
And relationship and dating and whatnot. I think it'll be spicy.
Jay, since I've done all these other sign-offs, I'm gonna let you do the honors this time with the good old track. How about this?
I like this track. This is Warren G.
Warren G.
And the LBC. R.I.P. Thank you guys again for tuning in. If you did tune in, thank you for the support. We've been getting some good vibes from everyone, and thank you for Kevin and Matt. Next time we see each other, hopefully not too long, but if it is, I have something to give you guys. So we're good. Last week I owed, remember, Jimmy and Ryan some sneakers.
You gotta still get on that, man. You're gonna go broke.
Much love, Jay.
I'm gonna give you guys some sneakers too. Might as well just
do it. My goodness.
My
generosity.
goodness. Hey, but this is very enjoyable. Thanks for having us on.
Be safe, and then hopefully we can see each other again under one roof. All right, let's cut it.
Sounds good.
Later,
See you
guys.